Hey, Revolta here. How you guys doing? I hope you are good. I am brilliant. It's a great Friday. I hope you guys are ready and set. We will be proceeding with our Friday. Remember that this is the Mentorship Academy. We do the 8 o'clock free Mentorship Academy, which we've been sharing for the last 5 years. Very, very proud of the fact that we've done 5 solid years consistently coming to bring you information about life and the factors that lead to your success. And really, one of the things that we always mention and say to you is that this is a way in which you, as an individual, can take advantage and go on to see success in your life. It's amazing how many people are always giving excuses and reasons why, they don't see success, and they don't have networks, and they don't have capital, and they don't have all manner of excuses that they always raise as a reason why they don't see success. But I'm here to tell you that the opportunities are always open and available. And it's really up to you to decide whether you want to do so or not. Now, if you remember, those of you who follow this page, this is now the Revolta page. I have taught about the 7 capitals you need to start a business without cash. And one of those is going to be tackled today very powerfully by my guest. Now, just for those who may not be aware what they are, number 1 is talent. Number 2 is information. Number 3 is what we call the blessing capital. Number 4 is vibrational or thought capital. Number 5 is relationships. Number 6 is trust, and number 7 is social capital. Now, in the fifth capital, which is relationships, that's where Vinesh is coming in to speak about the power of direct selling and networking, and just how powerful you can leverage that. And there's no business I know that leverages that more powerfully than the network marketing industry. It is the very epitome of the power of relationships and networking, and how you can utilize that to get. Of course, that depends on the platform you're on, and this is the power of platforms. If you jump on the right platform, you can actually go on to create massive wealth. I mean, look at the money influencers are making on social media, and that shows you the power of utilizing a good platform. So when you use a good platform, that catapults your business and whatever you're doing to the next level. So you don't go and reinvent a platform, you jump on a platform. And if it's a good platform, it takes you to the next level. And so Vinesh is here today to talk on the power of direct selling. He's from New Image, and he is the marketing and business development, officer at this particular company, New Image, who we have partners with as the 8 o'clock Mentorship Academy, and he will be walking you through that. So let me hand this over to him. He's going to run with this baby all the way through. Vinesh, over to you.
Fantastic, Revit. It's just awesome to hear you speaking. I spoke to you last week after the call for a while, and I was so blown away. So me and you are going to become very good friends. I love your entire attitude, the way you come across, very powerful. So we're very blessed. I think listeners are very blessed to have you. You're
Thank
just
you.
incredible. You're incredible. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Vinesh. I'm head of business development for New Image South Africa. Quite an amazing company. Very amazing, so amazing that I actually got stuck here, and I'll be stuck with them in a good way for the rest of my life as a staff member, right? So the topic for today is I wanted to talk about the power of direct selling. And Rev, if you can just be so kind to please bring up that slide for me. I'm sorry, I keep touching down here because I've got some notes that I've put down for you. But I wanted to start with New Images mission statement, right? Because when you're looking at any company that you're going to shake hands with, the most important thing is their mission statement. It's their purpose. What is the purpose of that company, and that I'm about to shake hands with? In fact, when I joined as the business development manager, which was almost 5 years ago, right? I walked into the company here in Umhlanga. The very first thing I looked for was where was their mission statement, and I found it hanging right in the front of the office in a beautiful frame, and it read as follows: New Image International will provide an equal opportunity for people worldwide to unite and enhance their quality of life through sustainable free enterprise, the marketing of high quality products in accordance with our commitment to health, financial security, and personal development. When I saw that, I was stuck. I knew that I was bound to be a part of this company because if I had to summarize that, it said to me that everything this company touched or came into contact with turned to gold. And in the 5 years I've been here, I can assure you everything it's touched, including myself, has turned to gold. It turns to gold, right? And this becomes very important when selecting a business that you want to go into. Now, Bill Gates, for those of you who don't know Bill Gates who might not know him, he's actually the creator of Microsoft, the owner of Microsoft. And he's a very successful man, very, very wealthy, multi-billionaire, if I think so. And he was asked a question in an interview, was asked, Mr. Gates, if you lost everything you had right now, everything, all your wealth, all your success, if you just lost everything, where would you start? And his response was one that actually blew me away. He said to them that he would look for one of the best direct selling companies in the world. He would look at their purpose, what they offered, and he would join them to build his wealth and success again. And they were quite stumped from that, and they asked him, but why? And as Rev just relevantly said earlier on, direct selling is one of the most easiest and most sustainable ways to almost build wealth. And it's not capped at any point where you can say, I can only make this much, or I can only be this successful. Now, when a company like New Image comes along and they're talking about 3 key areas, which is health, finances, and personal development, they're saying to you that's their commitment. They will ensure that they present and develop you in those areas. Oh my gosh, you're bound for success, right? So let's talk about direct selling. But before we get into what you need to look for in a direct selling company, I want to talk to you about some of the benefits of it. And I think that's where I want to start. And probably the rest of the month, we're going to talk about direct selling. It's where I'd like to focus, and then obviously leading up into some fabulous stuff in the following month. But some of the benefits, of direct selling. Rev, and I know you're seasoned at this, right? So feel free to step in. One of the key things is flexibility, right? Direct selling allows you, Rev, to work flexible hours. You can choose your times. Now, what becomes important to me, Rev, when people are able to do that, or companies able to do that, they are now telling you that the first thing, which is the most valuable currency you own, which is time, they're saying to you that you can tell us how you'd like to give value, how much of your value you'd like to give, right? So they're not actually telling you what to do, but they're offering you an opportunity to use your time according to how you see fit, and that will determine your success, right? So flexibility.
In fact,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
On that one, Vinesh, one of the things I love about the industry is that you've essentially got 3 time schedules. You could do full time, you could do part time, and you could do spare time. So really, of course, people ask, what exactly is that? Now, full time means you're pretty much putting in the 8 hours a day if you can, or even more. It's really up to you, 8 or 12 hours a day into this industry. Or you could do part time. That means you already have another main job you do, and then those 4 hours that we normally have as extra, you dedicate to putting in what I call the basic input of the business, which is show the product and make those closes. So you can do that in your spare so what we call part time. Then there's what we call spare time. Now, if spare time, that's the one where you say, okay, what times of the day or what times of the week or what times of the month
I'll find somewhere.
do I
Yeah.
have extra slots I could, throw into this? And
Correct.
of course, that could include weekends, it could include holidays, it could include whatever you feel can work for you. But the truth about this industry is what you put in is what you get out. Back to you, Vinesh.
Correct, Rev, and that's so powerful what you said there.
Mm.
Because one of the key things, because you said this when you started off, is excuses. The biggest one, the biggest one coming from people that are not successful is they will say to you, "I don't have time. I don't have
Mhm.
time." And I want to share something with the audience, something very valuable, which changed my life, right? And
Mhm.
I had a mentor, Chris Perry, who mentored me. And one day he saw me and he said to me, "Oh my gosh, you're losing so much of size, muscle size. Have you stopped gymming?" And I said to him, "Yeah, I actually stopped gymming." And he said to me, "Well, why did you do that?" And, I gave him an answer that I will never repeat again to anybody for any reason whatsoever. I said to him, "I don't have the time." And he looked down and he smirked to himself. And it was an
Mhm.
awkward moment of silence. And then he looked
Mhm.
at me and he said to me, "Well, now I guess why we know you, the reason as to why you're not successful." And my heart dropped.
Oh, wow.
I crushed inside me. And I thought, what are you talking about? And I just kept quiet and waited for him to speak. And he said to me, "Well, young man, let me ask you this." And he was my mentor. Thanks to him, I'm so successful now. And he said to me, "Young man, tell me this. Do you know Mark Zuckerberg?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I know him. The aliens in space know him. Is the creator of Facebook. He made the next best thing since sliced bread, right? Mark Zuckerberg." He said, I said,
Yeah.
"Great." And he said, "Do you know Bill Gates?" And I said, "Yes, Microsoft is, wow, Bill Gates has created Microsoft. We all use it." And he went, "Great." And he said, "Do you know Steve Jobs?" And I said, "Yes, I know Steve Jobs personally. I did work for him. I launched iPhone 4. I can tell you what he wore to the last meeting. It was a white t-shirt, brown shorts, and flip-flops. He came into the meeting, and he said
I'm
to me,
telling
"That's
you, very
great."
sensitive.
He said to me, "That's great. Tell me, what do they all have in common?" And I said, "Well, they're all successful." And he said, "Well, what else? Carry on, young man." And I said, "Well, Chris, they're very rich. They're so wealthy. I don't think you can actually count how much of money they have. They are so wealthy."
Mhm.
And he said, "Great." And he says, "Do you know something, young man?" And I'll never forget this. He said to me, "You know something? They exactly like you. They also have 24 hours in a day, but they are
Mhm.
multi-billionaires and you're not." And when he said that to me, a year later,
Wow.
just over a year later, I took it to heart and I practiced it. And it's part of my basic fundamentals now for
Yeah.
success. A
Yeah.
year and a half later, I made another million, right?
Mhm.
So something like that is very powerful. How you manage the time. You'll always not have enough time in the day. But the things that are important to you, you need to plug time into those things that are going to make a difference to your life, that are going to create the success that you need in your life. Because success is determined on the power of your purpose, right? But we're going to get
Yeah.
into those discussions. Back to the benefits of direct selling. One of the things I love, Rev, is the unlimited income with New Image. We're not capped anywhere. And we were discussing this the other day. So if you needed to make ridiculous figures, which some of the people are doing, like, a couple of millions, 8.7 million, they're doing ridiculous figures. If you needed to do that, it's not uncapped. It's not capped anyway. We're saying to you, make as much as you want to. We want you to
That's
make
right.
as much as you want to. And most of the direct selling companies out there, they do have those capping schemes where they actually cap
Yeah.
you off, right? These
Yeah.
are some of the things
Yeah.
you need to look at. You need to look at them very carefully when selecting a direct selling
Mm.
company to join. So potential
Gotcha.
income earnings are directly tied to the efforts and performance, offering unlimited income potential to the member that joins, right? One of the most important things, and I think a lot of direct selling companies leave this out. They don't focus on it. They don't give a tunnel vision to it or tunnel focus to it on members. Is personal development. We love that.
Correct.
We've got housewives with standard with a grade 7 that support 2 households that have bought everything that are now successful entrepreneurs, they're businesswomen. We've taken them and developed them to that point because it's part of our mission statement. Personal development, right? We care
Yeah.
about our members, not just developing you with new image and the products and the compensation plan, but overall
Mm,
development in terms of leadership, which becomes important, Rev. Leadership
mhm,
becomes important. In order to be successful, you need to know how to lead. And that's one thing we pride ourselves on. We've got all people from all walks of life. With
mhm.
our number one person at New Image was actually a cleaner, Mrs. Yang. She was a cleaner, a toilet cleaner, janitor, right? Cleaning
I'm
toilets
telling you.
with three
You
kids.
know, you know,
I
on that one, Vinesh, I am
Yeah,
so proud of the industry because you see, it was Zig Ziglar, and Zig Ziglar. Many don't know
yeah,
this, but Zig Ziglar's fame came through Herbalife. It was Herbalife
yeah,
back in the
yeah,
80s, early
yeah,
80s, late 70s. There is something Zig Ziglar said among many great things. He said,
yeah,
and I cannot quote it, so I'll
yeah,
paraphrase because I can't get
yeah.
the actual phrase. He
Go for
said,
it.
never in the history of the world have we seen a great example of grassroots capitalism than network marketing, because unlike
100%
all other businesses, this is a grassroots business in that
correct.
anyone, and I mean anyone from
Anyone.
any walk of life, can follow a proven system and lead to success. So I've definitely rephrased what he said, but he generally said something in those lines, demonstrating that this is
Yeah,
one business that requires the literal elbows and grease. Like literally
yes,
just get in
yes,
there, put in the work, follow
yes,
a proven system through good leaders, leverage a powerful platform like New Image where you have
correct,
demonstrable success. And
correct.
if you're willing to put in the work,
Yeah,
it's not called network
yes,
marketing. That's what it's for nothing. It's not
yes,
net sit. It's not
yeah.
net rest. It's
I
net
love that.
work.
I love it.
Back to you, Vinesh.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. But 100%
Indeed.
correct.
Yeah.
100% correct. You can't come from grassroots level. And she was a cleaner. I think in the first 5 years, it was 22 million, right? Which she turned over in the first 5 years because she
Wow.
put her heart and soul into it. But also she knew her purpose, right? And that drove her. It's very important finding the purpose in life and your purpose, why you get up in the
Mm,
morning and you live.
mm,
That's very important because that purpose will drive everything that you need to achieve success. The other important benefit is the community support. In network marketing companies often provide a supportive community of like-minded individuals can
mm,
offer you guidance, right, and
mm,
motivate you. So you've got the
mhm,
person that's been there. We have some key people in our industry who did some incredible things during COVID, and they've had very good successes in certain areas, and they are there. They are there to motivate. And most of these direct selling companies always have that great community. You've got people like Rev, that's a seasoned networker, with that amount of knowledge. It's just a blueprint from other people that you copy. And you don't have to change much. You just copy the blueprint. Monkey see,
yeah.
monkey do. Rev, that's a good saying in network marketing. It's monkey see, monkey do, right? Um,
Yeah.
and it's all about that, just copying it. One of the other things is product passion, right? Direct
Oh,
selling allows you to share products you believe in and you are passionate about with other people, right? So you've got to look at, that's the product they have, is it unique? Am I going to fall in love with this? But you've got to try it first, right? Like New Image
yeah.
product range. The moment you speak to members from you, the first thing they'll tell you, I will never leave. I've had people sit with me for meeting with them for the first time when I got here. They walked up to the table where we were sitting, sat down, and they looked at me. And the first words were, they didn't even introduce themselves. They said to me, I don't want to hear about anything else. I love New Image International, and I will never stop taking colostrum. And I thought, oh my
Mm,
gosh, they just said that to me. They haven't even introduced themselves. But,
mm,
passionate. What is the product? This thing that they've given me to go out there and introduce people to, how unique is it? Let me tell you, there's
mm.
only one alpha lipid colostrum lifeline in the world. It's got 172 patents on it. It's only exclusive to our members. Did you hear me say that? It's exclusive only to our members. That means if you're out there and you're not part of New Image, you can't get it from the company. If you come to us directly here at the office and you want it, we'll refer you to a member. We'll pick out one of our members because you can only get it from them. It's exclusive to
Yeah,
them, right? And they are
absolutely.
our business partners, Rev. They are our business partners. This is the amazing thing because they're so passionate about the product. They're so passionate about it.
Correct.
And the results, the
Mm.
clinical trials, you got to investigate that product. Ours all has clinical trials from around the world, right? NIS labs, all of that. There's clinical trials. They put it up against things. They've got results. We've got testimonials about the product and what they've actually done to a very large extent. So those things are important. And I think having a good product to talk about to other people, don't try and sell anything, right? Never try to sell stuff. Always just talk about the passion you have for the company that you're with, and it will sell itself, right? And I think that's important, Rev. That's very important, having that key product from that company that's so unique that makes it wow.
You know what?
The,
What we normally say there, Vinesh, we
yeah,
always say that like we do in Christianity, that your
yes,
life must be an episode. The power of testimony is key. So if
yes,
you are not using in fact, many times the two
yeah,
greatest testimonies in the industry that get people sold is the change in the individual's life, like literally the health, like, whoa, what
correct.
happened to you, and
Yeah,
then the lifestyle. So of course
yeah,
lifestyle takes a long time, but for
yeah,
some people they're very fortunate. They come into these things and they hit the ground running, and for
correct.
some reason which will never be understood, they just get the right leaders, like just get the right leaders and then shoot into the stratosphere. 1 year later you can't even recognize the person. So many people
Correct.
say, what
Correct.
in God's name happened to you? What did you
Yeah.
do? Did you join some secret society? No, I can actually take you to the company I joined. And you know
We've had some people do that in 1 month here at the image. We actually
yes.
had two people in South Africa do it in a month and in 2 months. Qualify for
Wow.
incentive trips, bonuses, everything. And the rest of the world was like, how did that happen? Because the purpose drove them, and they were excited and we just supported as a company. So yes, passion becomes important. Some of the other key things on the business opportunity side is the low startup costs, right? If you're thinking
Ah,
about starting up a general dealer, gosh, it's about 50 to 100,000 to get it stocked up, get your licensing, all the red tape, paperwork, taxes, all of that stuff. It's a
Vinesh,
nightmare.
Vinesh,
It's a
you know
nightmare.
what?
Yeah.
What you're even saying is even decent numbers, because if you're talking about a typical franchise today, because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
modeling of what we do, network marketing, is what you call personal franchise. So it's a franchise
Yeah.
because you're connecting to a bigger platform with a
Correct.
proven track record, proven
Correct.
systems, and what.
Correct.
Now, if you look
Correct.
at a typical franchise today, like for example, you decide, hey, I think let me get myself a Subway. Let me become
Yes.
a
Yes.
dealer of Subway, or maybe I
Yes.
become a dealer. Let's forget about McDonald's. Let's go for something
Yeah.
simple. Maybe you
Yeah.
say, now let me do a mug and bean. Those
Yeah.
things will cost you north of
Yes.
$200,000 to 300,000 to get into the franchise. And if
Yes.
it's McDonald's,
Yes.
it's $1 million. And FNB is a very good supporter of these, franchising companies. I had the
Correct.
privilege of
Correct.
doing a presentation at FNB at one of their, franchise, what was it called? Franchise support, whatever it was. And, so I
Yeah.
was there and I heard for myself from franchise holders the work involved. It's not even funny. That's why
Yeah.
most franchise holders will pick up a really good franchise, but it'll close in 1-2 years because
Correct.
the work involved is insane. The training alone, just to get you familiar with the systems, is 6 to 12 weeks. You're just
Also
at
paying
the
licensing
franchise
right.
center learning. Yeah, to get your license rights. And these guys come to inspect every 3 months.
Yes,
So if they
yes,
don't like what they're seeing, they take your franchise away. And so you can
correct.
imagine the work involved. Yet in our industry, it's so simple. The fees are almost, they're
Nothing.
almost, what's that word? There's a word I want to use, Vinesh. The fees are
Go ahead.
almost a crime. They're almost a crime. That's the word I wanted to use. They're almost a
It is.
crime because like,
It
there's
is.
no way you can start a business that will make you become literally a millionaire for a
Yes,
song,
yes,
because that's what,
yes,
the fees tend to be very low, and you can get yourself a product. And I've seen people, myself, who've started from
yeah,
one product and we go and
yes.
retail that product and just start from there, because they don't even have the money
100%.
to make
100%.
whatever you call that stage where you can now start getting bonuses. They don't even have that
Yes,
money, so they just do the
100%.
fee for joining and buy one product and then start from there.
Correct. And you know what, Rev? Now that you said that, it reminds me of a gentleman that walked into the office here one day. A very young, nice gentleman, very handsome guy, walked in and he sat down in front of me and he said, "This person sent me to come see you about this direct selling thing." And I said, "Okay." And we spoke, and he got up after an hour. He left. The next day, he walked in with a smile on his
Mhm.
face, and he walked in and he sat down and looked at me, and his head kind of dipped, and he looked at me and said, "I want to do this so badly. I couldn't sleep last night. But the only problem is I don't have the capital to start. In my pocket right now, I have 10 Rand." And he pulled it out and he showed it to me. And he said, "This is for my taxi fare to get back home." I got him started. We got him started. 3 months later, he was a manager in our business, right? Still with us today.
Wow.
Still with us today. So, it's purpose. It's purpose that drives it, right? You can do anything you want to, but what is the purpose behind your life? Why do you want to reach that level of success? Does it fit with
That's
the
it.
purpose? Do they both
Yeah.
meet, and does it satisfy you? So low income costs, right, in terms of a low startup costs in terms of direct selling. The other thing is the residual income is ridiculous. We're almost out of time. We're going to continue with this next week Friday, but just to end off on residual income, I think it's residual, and if I can say the sustainable income, right, for the rest of
For
your
me,
life.
that's
It's
For me, that, Vinesh, is the biggest reason
yes,
why this
yes,
industry is so profound. Because the residual income, people don't understand this, and I don't want to break
phenomenal.
this, but it's too heavy. We must pick it up next week. But the illustration I loved many years ago when I first learned about it was the
Yeah,
lizard versus the spider. See,
yeah,
lizards basically hunt for food. So
yes.
everything about their earnings, which is the food, is directly tied to them going out there and
I love that.
performing, hunting. And so
I
that's
love that.
called what? Reciprocal income. But with
Yeah.
the spider, it's not designed to hunt, but it's much better because it builds nets. Isn't that interesting? It works on
That's correct.
building nets. So it does little nets, and that will spend maybe 2, 3, 4 days building that. And you can imagine the lizard, if it was watching the spider, would be laughing at the spider. But once the spider is done with its net, my friend, it can literally sit, go
And
visit the friend, chill the whole day, and come back and find 2, 3 flies trapped.
I
Easy.
love it.
And the funny thing about the spider web is that for as long as there's nothing that comes to break it, it will remain trapping
Correct.
flies long after the death of that
Correct.
spider. I think for
Spider.
me, that's what makes this so powerful. Over to you,
And you
Vinesh, to
said
wrap
and,
up
and,
and finish.
and you said something very key there, and I want to end on that. You said something
Mm.
that the web will be there long even after the spider is gone. And that's what direct selling is about. It's about generational wealth as well. With New Image, you can will your business so that when you leave, you can leave it to your loved ones to continue to inherit from it, which is just beautiful because
Yeah,
generational income is the most important thing. Rev and our members, thank you so much for having me today. I'll be back next week, Friday. We'll continue with our conversation on the power of direct selling. And have a blessed weekend and see you soon. Bye bye.
indeed. Before you sign off, Vinesh, let me just
Yes.
alert those watching and listening that we this is an exciting thing. It's on the way. Keep watching this space. There is something very exciting that's going to come round. And for some of you, this will be your opportunity to jump on board and take advantage of what is on offer. So this is very, very exciting. And keep watching this space. Vinesh will be walking us through even more exciting things. So from
Love
myself,
it.
Vinesh, have a great one, you guys. And we'll catch you again next week on Friday on this one. But meantime, Monday, I'll be back to continue my series on bootstrapping. Have a great day. Vinesh, thanks a million. Cheerio.
Pleasure. Bye.